Good morning, everybody. Welcome in to the right side of campus here for Thursday, December 27th, 2018. I'm your host, the big man on campus. Here with my co-host, Donnie Wright said we are powered by sportsbookreview.com. Make sure you're checking out all the great stuff at Sportsbook Review, from the odds, the Sportsbook Review pages, to the blogs, and to the biggest YouTube channel on the internet. Make sure you're checking out everything today. Let's bring in our co-host, Donnie. Donnie, how you doing?
Doing good, man. Excited. Another day, another dollar. Thursday, shaping up. You got bowl games today. You got some NFL this weekend. Hopefully college basketball. College basketball get underway yet today, or are we still off another day?
No, we're not. Friday.
Gotcha. All right. So it's all football talk today. We'll have some fun.
Make sure you're checking out and make sure you're hitting the like button here. Always needed, always necessary. And welcome into everyone out there checking out the show. Last night, we'll start with first some headlines. Bowl game canceled. This was very odd yesterday. The First Responder Bowl, the Serve Pro First Responder Bowl, was canceled yesterday, and no makeup date filed. You don't normally see this. You don't normally see a game canceled, especially one at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and it's in Texas. Very odd here. You didn't hear why this was done or what, but this bowl will not be made up.
Yeah, it was. I mean, for long-term planning, I actually liked it because it shows how irrelevant the bowl system is now. So that's only going to, lead to expanded playoffs. Hopefully, you will get my dream, like in Division III, where we have like 2014 playoff, and that's the way it should be. Moving forward. You saw a game yesterday where you forced these kids to practice an extra 3.5 weeks, ride or die with their boys, go down to a bowl game, and then just say, you know what? The next window coming up has another bowl game, guys, and we don't want to cross over into that. So we're just going to cancel this bad boy right now. And, of course, I was sitting on a Boston, college side, get up quick, 7-0. Swiss cheese, the Boise State team moved it up, only had the 1 or 2 possessions there, but clearly looked like the stronger team early. A.J. Dillon was healthy in that football game. Brown was healthy, 7 points, and it gets canceled. So disappointing. Would have liked to see how it turned out there, but I thought I was on a pretty right side there at Boston College.
Yeah, Donnie, you said that yesterday. Boise went down in all the games I bet on them. Listen, I think if you had to push, it is what it is. I mean, nothing you could do about it. Very odd that the game was canceled. I don't understand that whatsoever. I mean, the weather was clearing up. I mean, why has there been no response as to why it was canceled? I mean,
it was TV. It was TV. They didn't want to roll into the mess up their other programming, NBA games. It's ridiculous. And it's actually good, though, for the future, Jeff, because it shows that we don't need the bowl system. Open it up, man. Open it. Put as many teams as you want in the playoffs, and it'll be fantastic football to watch.
Yeah, they're not going to do that. So we got to just deal with it. Justin Herbert heading back to school. He'll be going back to Oregon for another year. And, questionable. I mean, keep in mind the quarterback class is not great. Coming out this year, Herbert would be probably the top quarterback, but none of these guys are top, 10 probably. To be honest,
yeah, Herbert would be top 5. Yeah, Herbert would go top 5 if he came out. I'm really not understanding that too much. You know who's partying at this point, Jeff?
I wouldn't have
like
him
Will Greer.
Like I'm being honest with you, Donnie, and this is the truth. Like I would not have a quarterback in the top 7. To be honest, like I'm just being.
But they all do,
like,
though. They all do. Like Trubisky was wildly overdrafted. So was Bortles because there's no quarterbacks around. Like if you can get an athletic quarterback that you think they can project in something, they're going top 5 automatically.
Yep, that might be true, but none of the teams that are going to probably pick up at the top need a quarterback. So that's just where I'm going with it. I think the Giants would be the first team that would pick a quarterback. And for him, I think a lot of people at this point like Haskins over Herbert. They like Drew Lock over Herbert. I think he might kind of thinks that just next year it's going to be a better opportunity. He can give it a shot in a new season. He'll have obviously the ability to put a lot of numbers on the board. I don't know. It's kind of interesting for sure.
Yeah, I thought it was an interesting move because it's not really about, if the kid likes college. It's about making the right decision because what makes it really interesting now, Jeff? the little Smurf that's going to be playing versus Alabama coming up this weekend. The Oklahoma quarterback. Now, is he able to hold somebody hostage in this situation where maybe he would have been like a second-round pick, but now Herbert's out, where he can leverage something to get into like a top 15 pick and make more money in that first contract than he would in baseball over the next, 7, 8, 9 years till he becomes a free agent? It's such an interesting thing now where if you have some quarterbacks drop in and out and he has a big playoff run, is it out of the question that he chooses football?
No, I don't think it's out of the question. I think he's being very coy about what he's going to do. He's already got a tailor-made career in baseball, but yeah, I don't think it's a guarantee. No.
Yeah, because he signed for 4.7. Kyler Murray signed for 4.7 million. If these guys he has and I'm prefacing by saying, because we all know when the iron is hot, you want to strike. If he beats Alabama and wins a national title, and somebody says, "Dude, you come out, I'll draft you 7 overall," you don't play baseball anymore because you got like $25 to $30 million guaranteed coming to you as opposed to the $5 million. It would almost be a no-brainer for me.
Yeah, we'll have to see what he does. Again, he is a bit small, but again, that didn't matter with.
He is fine. Yeah. He makes Baker Mayfield look like Nick Foles and Carson Wentz.
Yeah, exactly, and that's kind of your knock on him. Yeah. I mean, he's a terrific player.
Yep.
But again, he's a terrific player in a system that suits him. And 5'10", I think is even high. Let's say he's 5'9", 5'10".
I don't even know if he's 5'10". He can't be more than like 170 pounds. I mean, he is tiny out there.
But he's 195, which is these are measurables from Scout.com. So again, that's not his. He obviously not went to the combine or anything, so we don't really know. But if let's say he's 5'9" and 185 pounds, that's very. That ain't going to work in the NFL. I mean, he could be quick and everything, but maybe he play. Again, the thing is that I feel like with them in the NFL, they'll try to make him into a running back or something.
Oh, come on! And then he get killed the first week.
But it's like maybe he's like a Darren Sproles type of player. I don't know.
No,
who knows?
He's a quarterback, but he is tiny.
I don't think he's a quarterback in the NFL. I don't know if I see like Darren Sproles, like a scat back.
But you're going to turn this little tiny guy into a running back that will get his legs snapped in half on his first carry up the middle.
I mean, he's Darren Sproles. That's what his height and like his measurables are. But
he's like 5'6" though. Darren Sproles tiny, little guy.
I'm not comparing them. I'm just making a comparison to like what his size. I mean, Darren Sproles is like 5'6", 190. So he's the same. I don't know. I don't know what he would do. I don't know that he'll do it. If I'm him, I would just say, you know what? I go play baseball. Very simple. I make money doing it. I don't got to worry about getting my head kicked in every day. Yeah.
Shame he couldn't have held off on the baseball contract, right? Did it leverage one versus the other? Like the old school John Elway saying, I'm not going to play for the Baltimore Colts. I'm going to go play for the Yankees. He could have did one of those, but, timing was a little bit off.
Dominic, is this show getting canceled? It's not being canceled, but it's not going to be on after the 31st. So I guess it is being canceled. Do I post my picks anywhere? Yeah, we all do on rightwager.com or our website. I'm on Temple Heavy, says Walter Trotter. We'll get to that game here in a little bit. Welcome in Chad, William, Jeremy, all you guys. Thanks for joining us today here on the show. This is the Right Side of Campus. I'm the big man of campus. He's Donnie Rightside. Tom Brady, Donnie, told the I guess the paper or no, some radio station that he'll absolutely believe I will play in 2019 and beyond. Well, I mean, that's fine. I mean, but let's we look at his season. He's having a nice season. He's shown though a little bit of being a bit old, a little. He's looked a little shaky at times, but he's got goals and he'll play beyond that next year. What do you think about that? Are you buying that?
Yeah, I mean, he's probably going to write his own check forever how long he feels like he wants to play for, as long as Bill Belichick is there and Robert Kraft is the owner. So if he wants to say he wants to play till 50, they'll probably let him do it for all the riches that they've brought to the New England Patriots. But hey, look, there's no doubt he's coming back next year, and he'll probably just play year to year. But you can never see the future. If he goes down with a knee injury or a bad shoulder injury or gets a bad concussion at that age, he might just hang him up. But there's no reason to believe that he won't be back for 2019. You have to say that, like, I'm like, next year's my final year. No, you're going to say, like, hey, look, man, I expect to play for a couple more years.
Yeah, and we'll see what I mean, he's pretty much been able to avoid injury like his whole career for the most part. He had like 1 or 2 seasons where he was injured, but for the most part, he's been. That's another thing about like an elite star like a LeBron or a Tom Brady. A lot of them avoid injury. Like I don't think like has LeBron ever missed a season? Like I don't ever remember him. And
No.
Tom Brady's missed like one. I mean, Michael Jordan never really was injured. I think that's one of the things about like stars that we kind of it's almost like their ability to not get injured because they're so good and they're so much better than everybody else that they almost avoid injury. That's another thing that you don't normally see. I mean, did you ever see Michael Jordan get injured, Donnie? Like I don't ever remember it. Like,
no. That's a lot of part of it because you tear a ligament or do this or that, and shortens that career up. There's no doubt.
Yeah, he looks like a hobbled man. Yeah, he does at times for sure.
He's old.
Yeah, no, he is. He's getting to his 40s at this point. Final item today. Michael Jordan. They're doing a documentary on him and his teammates from the 1990s. It'll be called The Last Dance, 30 for 30, a 10-part series. Here's my issue with this. Why are we hearing about this now? It's not even going to be on for over a year.
I guess like Tupac, you know what I mean?
This is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Then do it in 6 months. Nobody's going to remember this in a year. What is the point of putting it on over a year ahead of time? It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Why? Why are we releasing?
I don't know.
Do you release a movie over a year before? I'm lost on this. I don't get this. I guess they're that.
Now, what is it about? Just his last year?
It's a 10-part series focusing on Michael Jordan and the 90s Bulls. Never before seen footage, and his dynamics among his key players like Pippen, Rodman, and Phil Jackson. Yeah, I don't know, some kind of. I didn't see the trailer yet, but it looks like a long-winded series about the late 90s. But over a year from now, it's not even 2019. We're already talking about 2020.
Gotta hype it up, man. Gotta hype it up. The ESPN will do the hype job for that.
Nobody's going to remember it.
Young kids even know who Jordan is anymore, Jeff. You know what I mean? It's a new generation now. They even care.
No, they do. This is the only show I watch in SPR. Thank you, Samuel. Appreciate that. But watch all the shows. We have other shows here. Well, Donnie will have another show here. I have a show at night, so maybe you can check that out. Settle down, Nelson. What are you talking about? What is he talking about, Donnie? That your shirt is sad?
I don't know, maybe thinks that they're going to lose this weekend and we don't get in the playoffs. You know what I mean? The whole Eagles mojo.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, right.
They ain't losing.
Oh, there's Eagles on it. Okay, I didn't see it. Sorry.
They ain't losing.
So yeah, there you go. That's for the headlines today. So that's about that. Not a lot to really go on there. A lot of just college stuff, and that's it. But let's go and do the bowl recap. Not a ton to really recap, but we'll recap it. Minnesota Georgia Tech was the first bowl after the canceled one. Pretty simple. Minnesota beat them up. This one was over pretty early. Minnesota had a lot of just had it. Georgia Tech didn't seem like they were interested or cared. This was 10-0 after the first quarter, 13-3 going into half. Just Minnesota kept them at bay the whole time. A chaotic team this year for PJ Fleck. Had some suspensions, had some injuries, but they were able to move the football and finish it out. 2 nice wins to end the season. You beat Wisconsin in Camp Randall, and then you go on the bowl game and you beat Georgia Tech. Muhammad Ibrahim was terrific, Donnie. I mean, I'll tell you one thing about them up at Minnesota. They know how to recruit running backs. They always have solid running backs up there. He had 224 rushing yards. Solid game for him. Nice big win for the Golden Gophers. They win the Quick Lane Bowl.
Yeah, no, I saw the getting some updates on my phone. Did see some like nice stats out of the running back. I didn't watch a single snap of the football game, and from it looks like it, rightfully so. There was no need to watch any snaps of this football game. But capping this game, it opens up, 3.5, 4, shoots all the way to 6, comes back to 5.5. Did Minnesota actually suspend 10 players, or were they just lying to throw that out as a smokescreen? Because I don't. I saw, I guess, the main characters were still in there: the quarterback, the wide receiver, and the tailback. Did they actually suspend anybody for this one, or just third stringers?
I just took the 6. I didn't really look. I don't think.
Yeah. So I mean, there's another one, just a meaningless game, and I would love to recap it, but I didn't see a single snap. So obviously Minnesota just ran them right off the field. So kudos to Paul Johnson going out a winner in this one, right?
Yeah, they played for him. That's what they did yesterday. They lost by 24. The other game. I don't think this is the worst bowl game in history. I thought it was quite entertaining, to be honest. I think a lot of people were, and you know what, Donnie, I don't think it was the worst bowl game in history because there was, last night, late night, 12:30, 1 o'clock. This was the talk of the town last night, this bowl game. Everybody was talking about it. Everyone was talking about the finish. Everyone was talking about the hijinks in the game and how bad it was from just quarterback play. The defenses were terrific, but the quarterback play was poor. Grayson Mulstein was 7 for 20, 4 interceptions, 27 yards. Just ugly quarterback play. Chase Garbers, 12 for 93 yards, 3 interceptions. Chase Forrest, 5 for 14, 2 interceptions. That's 9 interceptions in one football game. You don't see that very often. How TCU won this game is really the big question. Cal was up at half. They were just in control of the most of the game. But late in that third quarter, TCU, I think right at the end of the third quarter, TCU punched it in. You had a ref knock into a person from the TCU bench, I believe, and you had a misfield. By the way, did you watch this game at all? Like late?
No, I didn't even see a snap. I just woke up and saw the statistics and was like, wow.
Yeah, this game was pretty weird late. Like TCU goes out to kick a field goal to take the lead in regulation, and they sent the field goal kicker out, but it was the wrong guy. So they pulled him off, put the other guy on, and he was the wrong guy, but then he was the right guy. Then they put him on, and he had no chance to make the field goal. It was one of those field goals. It was like 45 yards. He had no chance to make it. And, of course, as he shanks it and goes into overtime, then there was just I think it was someone from personnel, and he was in like a suit on the sidelines, like ran into the ref, and he got called for a penalty. It was a weird game, but it was entertaining. It was very not top 10, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like it was kind of
like a calamity, that. like it's like a car crash.
Yeah.
Like you had to watch it. Yeah, I got you.
Yes. So, from a standpoint of was it a great game from a playing standpoint? No, but it was a hijinky, not top 10 type of game. So It was funny. But the game went to overtime, and I'm thinking to myself, oh no, I hope this game doesn't go over somehow. Because this game is really one that just has no business going over. So it didn't go over, and it was a boring game from a score standpoint, but hijinky to say the least, Donnie.
Jeez, man. Yeah, thank goodness I missed that football game. But I think, weren't we all set up for that anyway when we capped the game and looked at it and said, what is actually going to go on in this football game? I think that's probably the way it should have played out, 10-7 with 9 interceptions.
Yeah.
Was there really 9 overall interceptions? Is that right?
Yes. 9 interceptions.
Hey, my goodness.
That is correct. I watched all 9 of them, I believe. Also, Donnie, I wanted to bring this up. Canada, World Junior Hockey Champ, some hockey tournament. They beat a team 14-0 in hockey. Is that necessary, really? I'm not trying to be like a dick, but do you really have to do that? 14-0. Well, it's real
Have some
sportsmanship
fun out
there.
there.
Nice
You
work,
get what you
Canada.
get at those. Yeah, you get what
Funny
you
as
get. Those kids are
Canada.
trying to make a name for themselves.
Yeah. Per usual, Canada doesn't win anything. So in some crappy junior hockey tournament, they beat a team 14-0. Cool. Real sportsmanship there. Let's move on. Today's bowls. So did you not believe the 9 interceptions or?
No, I saw the high interceptions, but then as you kept saying, I was like, was it like they're not even like passing teams, which makes it even more funny. Like, how did I could see if like both teams threw like the quarterback went like 49 for 68 with 4 interceptions. Like, well, he threw the ball a lot. But to see these kids with like the statistics that they had, it looked like they were dropping back, and every other pass they threw was just a straight up interception.
Well, it's funny though because one of the passes was one of those like, quarterback throws down to the receiver, receiver throws back to the quarterback, and then the quarterback throws an interception. It was weird, very messy. Let's get into today's action. Another riveting day full of bowl action. We'll start at
Yep, we could flip the
2:35, 2:36.
Yep,
Yep.
we'll flip the coins today to see who's actually playing for these teams, and we'll try to get ahead of those now.
Yep,
So.
yep, yep. Donnie, give it a rest, all right, please. We got to break these games down. Donnie just is ruthless.
Yeah, like I'm trying,
like
I woke.
We get it.
I'm reading Duke Temple. Nobody has any idea who Temple's quarterback is going to be. So, and everybody likes
No,
Temple.
we do.
Why do
It's
you like
Anthony
Temple?
Russo.
And it says
Anthony
right now
Russo.
he's questionable for the game coming in with a hand injury. Missed the last game. Is he actually playing
Yep.
today? Do we know that? So we just it's confirmed.
I'm seeing probable.
But that doesn't mean anything. Probable means you're wearing a uniform.
Okay. Fair enough. Again, Donnie, I get where you're going here, but we got to do these. We're breaking them down. That's what the show's about.
I like to break it down, but if you're gonna tell me right now you're on Temple, don't get mad when Russo's on the sideline and Newtow's in the football game.
Yeah, I'm not on really anything here. I'm gonna just try to see what we can find here. Temple 3.5, total 54. Another, you would think, defensive battle here. Two teams that are pretty solid from a defensive standpoint. Temple, look, new coach. Ed Foley's going to coach this game. This isn't Manny Diaz or anything. We could talk about his rah-rah attitude, and he thinks that they're going to come out and play her. Ian Cameron, I know, pointed out the other day some quotes out of the Temple locker room. Didn't seem too good. Duke, 5-0 this year as an underdog. 5-0 against the spread. They've covered 14 of 19 as a dog. So, I mean, that's pretty impressive. I mean, 5-0 as an underdog. You won 4 of those games outright. That's impressive stuff. I don't really know if Temple should be a favorite in this game. I don't know that I see it. We know with Duke, we're not getting any personnel problems generally. We're also not getting any coaching change. Cutcliffe's the guy. If I have to have a guy in Foley explain to me in the sense that he did, that his team's prepared, I'm almost a bit curious that maybe he thinks that this team's not going to be prepared. I kind of like Duke at this point, getting 3.5. I know that I'm going to get a pretty solid quarterback in Daniel Jones. They're putting up 27 points a game. The question is, can Temple maintain the consistency that they normally have? Can they run the football? That was kind of a problem at times this year. I'll lean Duke at this price.
Yeah, no, I would. It's the same reason like I would have leaned Cal yesterday because I don't know who's actually playing for the other team or who's going to come in. Like, 'cause I'm reading right now, Frank Newtow looks like it says exactly, quote, Frank Newtow likely to get the nod today over Anthony Russo, who hurt his hand in the season finale versus Connecticut. And then also, let's take a look from the other side. Like, the guy you want in the football game, Rockwell Armstead, see if he plays today. Senior, left his last game injured. Does he risk it, or is he going to the draft and they just, smoke screen and he's just on the sideline today? It's another one of those things where the bowl games where nobody knows what's going to happen in this game. And if you're leaning Temple, if Temple's full go, Jeff, I like Temple because Duke looked like they crashed and burned, to end the season. But if you're going to tell me I'm going to get the backup running back and backup quarterback, I want no part of Temple today.
Yeah, I mean, Newtow's not a great quarterback. Russo's definitely the guy that you need in there if you're Temple. I'm seeing he's probable, which again, that could mean that he's there and ready to go. You obviously want to figure that out. And here's what I'll tell you guys: if you want to follow a guy that knows about Temple, I would follow like a Mark Narducci or someone like that. He works for the Inquirer. He knows what he's doing. He's got a lot of good info. He follows them pretty closely.
Yeah, he covered
He
me. He
works for
covered
the
our high school game back in the 90s. I know. He
yeah.
used to always be at our games. Yeah, yep. No, he's been around a long
Yeah,
time in this area.
he's been working. I mean, he's working for the Inquirer since '83. Mark
Yep.
Narducci, Marc Narducci, Narducci. He's his
Went to the
Twitter
same
is
high school
S.
as me. How about that, Jeff? Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, his Twitter is SJ Nard. SJ Nard. South Jersey Nard. He's your guy. So I'm thinking he's writing an article about Russo and his father. So I'm gonna guess maybe he's in there. We'll see. We would want to keep abreast of what he's got going on.
Live wager,
I,
Jeff. We've been saying it all along here, right? Maybe just turn the game on. Look, and most books are going to have a live wager for you, ready to go at that first commercial break. Hey, look, Newtown is playing. Hey, look, Russo's playing. Rockwell Armstead, great week of practice, looking to cap off his senior season. That's what you want to hear, right? You just don't know that before the game actually kicks off.
Yeah, you definitely you don't want to be that guy that thinks something's gonna happen, then someone else runs out and you're like, what the fuck is going on here?
Yeah, yesterday, Boston. Now I don't know if it would have made a difference. Red Sox. Boston College's best player on defense, not a peep, Jeff, for 3.5 weeks. Mysteriously shows up in a boot on the sideline saying, "I'm going to be a first-round pick next year, and I'm not risking my injury in that." Like, come on, beat writers, you don't have that for the best football player on the team.
Here's what I would say, and this is my opinion: if the player played in the last game of the season with no hitch, I'm going to guess he'll play here, unless he's like a higher end draft guy. I know Boise, and I don't know who the player was you're talking about. I know they had some knocks on defense.
Boston College, Zach, what's his name? Maybe
Cunningham?
the best overall pass rusher in the country. No, the kid from Boston College. ACC defensive player of the year, just sat it out. Yeah.
Oh, so he played on Boston College. Gotcha.
Yes, right.
Yeah, I don't. You mean Ray? I think his name is.
Hold on.
I don't know. We'll see. Either way,
Zach Allen. I think it was like Zach Allen. Yeah, Zach Allen. Yeah. Just sat it out.
Just try to find your. Try to do what you can for injuries. I don't. I don't know what to say. You got to just kind of look and be investigative. Next one, Miami, Wisconsin. Miami laying 2.5. Total 45. This one's short and sweet for me. I'm going under the number. I think both these defenses are very good. I think both these quarterbacks are not good. Jack Cohen, I think they have a bit of a leg up just because they're used to cold weather. Miami, like Drew Martin was talking about, they're not really a team that is used to something like this. It's up in Yankee Stadium. Cohen will have family that I believe is from Long Island. That's a nice little touch. Again, we have to ask ourselves why Miami is the favorite in this game. I think that's the big $100 million question. Malik Rozier is not a good quarterback, and he's going to be the quarterback in this game. I think it's highly unlikely we see N'Kosi Perry at all here. I think just when you're looking at the line, this is a Miami line. Miami should not be a favorite in this game. They are, though. I'm going to lean under. I think this is truly a game where the quarterback play will be shoddy. There'll be a lot of punts here. But the weather up in the area, I mean, we're not too far from New York. Generally, the weather there is the weather we have here. I mean, you have temps in the 40s today. No precipitation. Very low wind levels. It's actually not a bad day up there. So take it for what it's worth. I lean under here, but not in love with it.
Yeah, you're right. It's, maybe N'Kosi Perry was able to come in and use his legs a little bit and make something happen. He hasn't had a great season, but he's a head and shoulders better than Malik Rozier at this point. So if you're Miami's offense and Mark Richt calling the plays, you can expect a lot of read option. You can expect a lot of awful, wide open players from Miami where the ball just airmails into the first row because Rozier's such an awful quarterback. But then what do you get out of Wisconsin side? Sure, they're big and strong up front. They got a great running back. But Miami eats those teams. I mean, you can't just line up and run the football against the Miami Hurricanes. That doesn't work. So you're going to have some semblance of a passing game. So I think, Jeff, it leads right into it. You know what? Under dropping like a rock, open at 47, now sitting at 45 and dropping as of today as well. might be a better look, but it is only 45 points. But do you see both of these teams, Jeff, like opening it up? Like, what are we opening it up for? Miami doesn't have any wide receivers and a quarterback that can't throw the football. They might as well be in the 1940s. And you might be able to say the same thing about, Wisconsin, who got drubbed in their last game versus Minnesota and aren't a great football team to begin with. And a quarterback that doesn't really pass the football and leaning on the running game. Should be an ugly football game up there in New York today.
That's kind of my thoughts with it. Maybe, 21-17, something like that.
I mean, yeah, that's exactly what I mean. Maybe they open it up with fake punts and stuff, but you're looking at just two blah offenses. And come on, like I'm a Miami Hurricanes fan. I've been screaming for 2 years. Like I just wish they would somehow, could just, fake something on Malik Rozier and put hey, he cheated on his test or something like that, and they just threw him off the football team because he just keeps coming back for more. And at a Power 5 institution, he's an awful quarterback. So
I think it's important to mention though, and this I hear you. I know you're a fan. I know you're not happy with the quarterback play, and you shouldn't be. This quarterback play is shoddy. They have not really had a quarterback since Kaya left. And he wasn't there very long. But Donnie, the truth of the matter is, Rozier actually had better numbers than Perry. Perry, 51.9% completions. He only completed more than 15 passes in 2 different contests. This is a guy. This quarterback play is awful. I mean, from both ends, they need to go out and figure something out here with their quarterback play because really since Kaya and even before that, they had their runs with like a Corey Harris, those kind of guys, but
they had weapons though too. They don't have any weapons. Like you throw Jeff Thomas leaves in the middle of the season. Amon Richards, who was a top 15 pick at wide receiver, maybe would have been a little bit different because those guys just would have been wide open the entire game. But when you have an inaccurate quarterback who stinks, and then you say, well, your wide receivers stink on top of it, it's not a good look.
Yeah. Donnie, we're also getting a couple news stories in here live. Nelson Cruz has agreed to a deal with the Minnesota Twins. The deal is worth, I think, $14 million a year or something. Guaranteed, 14 guaranteed. Also, the reason yesterday for the canceled bowl game, lightning was expected for the next 4 to 5 hours.
Yeah, that's pretty much a fake right there. So there you go. A nice little PR look for them. That basically why don't they just come out for real? Like, look, guys, nobody's here for your game. Nobody really cares on TV, and there's much better programming coming up that we don't want that window to run into. So therefore, we canceled the game. You know what I said? Like, damn, you know what? Truth hurts sometimes, but I can respect it.
Also, keep in mind Gerald Willis, Miami's top run stuffer, is not going to play. 18 tackles for loss, 4 sacks. So both these teams are pretty good against the run. Feels like if you can stop John Taylor, you're going to stop Wisconsin. So, yeah, give me the under. I'll continue to ride these shitty bowl game unders. As far as the side, I got to tell you, I think the line screams.
It's a Miami line, though, isn't it? It is a Miami.
How they're gonna...
Has anybody bet Miami? Have you seen anybody online for the last 3 weeks even talk about betting Miami in this game?
Yeah, I think, and if Donnie, and you know this, by looking at these numbers here, 69% of the spread tickets, 70% of the spread dollars on Wisconsin. I think, but the bigger, more significant bets by sharps are on Miami. And that's the thing. This is a stone cold sharp public game. People see Wisconsin. They know the issues that Miami's had. They see these news stories. This is a stone cold Miami line. And you even heard at the beginning, Donnie, when I said the game, I kind of just thought and remembered that Wisconsin was favored, but it's like, no, they're not favored. They're dogs in this game. Yeah, I think Miami's that 2.5. I think this is about as good a sharp a line as you're going to get on Miami. It's under that 3 number. It just looks weird to begin with. I don't know how Miami's going to score or get it done, but I think they're going to get it done here. So we'll root them in. Let's do some comments here. Miami defense will be the difference. I don't disagree with that. Always have to go Miami. Line doesn't make sense. Agreed. Turnover chain will be swift.
They closed the year strong too. I mean, Virginia Tech stinks, but they beat them up, and then the last game, Pitt stinks, but they beat them up. So I mean, they haven't quit on Mark Richt at this point. But I just would have been so much. It just seems like there's more coming today out of Miami. What I mean by that, Jeff, is like surprise suspensions. These guys aren't starting, and Ian Nicosia will be ready. I don't know if he's going to play. I mean, come on, Mark. Jeez.
Yeah, no, I hear you. All right, Donnie. Baylor and Vandy. I got to tell you, I think this is probably a decent game. I'm not excited for this game, but I am interested because I like Baylor. Been no secret by me all season. I thought this team would be one of the biggest movers when it comes to improvement this year, and they have been. They have been very impressive. And I don't know if you can get a more motivated bowl team, Donnie, to me in this bowl season. We finally have some motivation here. Both these teams, I think, are going to really be into this one. I think this would be a great game from a neutral standpoint. I trusted Matt Rule to have this team prepared. He had them prepared all season. I think the motivation is through the roof for this group. I like the quarterback play. I like Denzel Mims. I like the run game they have. Um, you know, I wonder, is this a sneaky overplay? Because I think, you're going to have, not great defenses. Baylor's a team that struggles to get stops, particularly inside the red zone. And Kyle Shermer's actually, Donnie, got some bloodlines to the NFL. He's had a pretty good career at Vandy. Is this maybe a sneaky over? But I think Baylor will officially move the ball. I think the run defense for Vandy is pretty poor. I think the motivation is just very, very high for them here. It's a game in Texas. I think it's a quasi home game. I'm definitely thinking for recruiting purposes, this is probably a good spot for Baylor as well. I'm going to lean towards the Bears here, getting 4. I think they come out very motivated in this game.
Yeah, I'll go, just for argument's sake, I'll go against you here. I mean, Vanderbilt with that smashing tough schedule closes the season on a high. You take the best offensive player out today for Baylor in Herbert at wide receiver. I think the Vanderbilt Commodores come into this game and just start banging around. I mean, look at the finish of the season. Beat up Arkansas, go on the road to Missouri, lose by 5, beat up Ole Miss, beat up Tennessee to end the season. You're also talking about losses to Kentucky on the road by 7. You lost by 10 versus Florida. You lost to Georgia. You know what I mean? Early on the season, you're playing Notre Dame. I just think they're battle tested in this one. I'll go opposite on you, Jeff, and go with those Vanderbilt Commodores just because of the strength of the schedule and play. And I always like to pick on teams. When you're down your best player, I like to pick on the other team a little bit because you can't lean on the other guy,
Yeah, I mean, let's remember though, Baylor is fairly good at receiver. Mims is very good. Chris Platt. They got Hasty out of the backfield. John Levette. I think that, again, I don't disagree, but that definitely hurts. But I think sometimes motivation is huge. And Vandy's a solid team, but I wonder about their defense, and I wonder about can Shermer continue to be great in a game like this? I'll take a shot with Baylor here. I'm seeing here, and again, maybe I'm never seeing some of this stuff, and where is Hurd out? Is he definitely out?
Yeah, he's out. Yeah, he's definitely out today. Yep.
Why? Is he just out because
he's a leg injury, I guess.
Okay.
It's listed as leg. Jalen Hurd is out, knee injury.
Yeah, I think 4 though is a pretty solid number. I'll take a shot with the 4 here. You're going to go the other way with the Commodores.
Yeah, roll with the SEC and see what happens on there.
Fair enough. The wins on the schedule. Can we? I guess. I mean, you didn't play Alabama. You lost to Georgia and got crushed. I guess though, just talking about competitiveness and who they played. There you go. It's a good point. We'll see what happens. Big 12 against SEC.
Mm-hmm.
That could get tough. We have to remember that. But these are what bowl games are for. Where amazing happens, Donnie, as they say.
Yeah. Sensational game.
Yeah, I'll take Baylor. I think the line.
There, yeah.
I think the line is. Jalen Hurd was not their whole offense. I'm not sure what you're watching. Again, Quan White obsessed with Tennessee and has to act like
yes,
Tennessee
he knows Jalen Hurd. Yep.
Yeah, well, Jalen Hurd's not on Tennessee anymore, so it doesn't really matter. It wasn't the whole offense, actually. I've watched this team, and they have many good players. Cal coach is useless, says Billy Exotic. Little harsh, but I hear your point.
7 points, and I mean that was their offense all year long, though, right? Jeez. They were just
I don't think to say
12,
he's
7,
useless though
14,
is
6.
yeah. I mean, he did actually resurrect that program for a good from being pretty average with Sonny Dykes to being a pretty good team. So I don't think he's useless, but I know you're mad. You lost your bet. I get it. Let's move on. We got about I don't know, a few minutes here. Let's talk about Donnie. What do you got in the NFL?
Yeah, I don't know, just some line movements. We can go over a couple of instances that we can take a look at here. Let me just bring up the headlines here. The games that mean something. I mean, there's a lot of games that mean something, but I'm talking about games that you can get a pretty clear read on a few teams trying to get after it. The one real interesting one, Jeff, to start off is we haven't talked about it that much this week, and I think it's going a little bit under the radar. 315, 316, Baltimore Ravens and the Cleveland Browns. This is another one of those wheelhouse games that we've been talking about with the Baltimore Ravens, Jeff, where you like them when they're at a pick 'em or getting points, but maybe favored by a touchdown, maybe not liking them so much. Haven't broke this game down entirely because I'm just waiting to sit back to see if any information is going to come out. But obviously, Cleveland is going to want to go into this game and continue their mojo for the season, head into the offseason, and knock a team out of the playoffs in the Baltimore Ravens, who used to be the Cleveland Browns. I could see that side angle playing here. But do we see, Jeff, the Baltimore Ravens getting beat at home in the last game of the year with all the marbles on the table by the Cleveland Browns? Can we see that?
No, and in fact, I really like Baltimore in this game. I think it's a bad matchup for the Cleveland Browns. Cleveland is basically, I mean, they're not going to the playoffs. Okay, I mean it's done. They'll play spoiler though. I just look at Baltimore and I'm not really looking to step in front of this group. I mean, you're facing a Cleveland team that is frankly not very good against the run. I mean, they're giving up 4.5 yards a carry. We saw last week they had some issues at times getting stops against the run. And look, that's all Baltimore's doing at this point. They're basically road grading teams and just saying, look, we're going to run the football and you can't stop it. They took care of that win against the Chargers last week was pretty impressive. And this defense is legitimate, man. I mean, they are really legitimate. This is going to be obviously a big test for Baker Mayfield. Can he go in and beat up a team like this? Have you really faced a defense, quite this good? You did. You faced the Browns back in week 5, and they actually played pretty, defensively they played well. But Mayfield, he moved the ball, but he had an interception. They couldn't score points.
That was a Joe Flacco game too, keep in mind.
Yeah, well, good point as well. It was kind of one of those weird knuckleballer games. And Joe Flacco had 56 passes in that game. That's not what they are now. They're a totally different team. And that was in week 5. These are different teams. This Baltimore team is not a team I'm looking to step in front of, especially at home. You're under a touchdown here. This one just kind of has it written, kind of like what they've been doing, 24-14, 24-13, something like that. I'll lean with Baltimore here. I think it's a pretty poor matchup for the Browns.
Yeah, and also, Jeff, when you take a look at stepping up in class on the road, you lost to New Orleans by 3. You didn't step up in class to Oakland. Oakland actually beat you outright, and they're horrific. Tampa Bay beat you on the road. Pittsburgh clowned you on the road. You beat Cincinnati, who stinks. You stepped up against Houston. You got clowned on the road. And you beat a Denver team that can't get out of their own way by 1 point. So, I mean, there is something to be said about Cleveland, winning games on the road because they struggle to win games at all over the past 5 to 10 years. But when you're stepping up in class where it's not like a, hey, let's see what happens type game. No, one team is preparing like it's the end of the world. They need this game. When you're free rolling, you know what I mean, Jeff, heading into this football game, like, yo, we're running hot. Let's just go in here and see what happens when the other team really needs this football game. But again, it gets it back into that same thing we talked about. If this game was a pick 'em, you say, hell yeah, Baltimore's going to win this game because that's just what they do. Can Baltimore win this game by double digits is probably what you're going to need to cover this. So should be an interesting. I'm really looking forward to the game. I think Baltimore brings their A game. Nobody's been able to shut it down yet. So we're going to be led to believe, Jeff, that the one team that should have been able to handle it to me would have been the Chargers because of what they have and the multifaceted offense that you have. You can run the ball. You can pass. You have a smart veteran quarterback, a pass rushing defense over there. And they couldn't beat them on the road. On a short week, the Ravens went in there and did damage to the Los Angeles Chargers. So I'm going to sit back and see what happens because the only team, Jeff, that beat them and shouldn't have even beat them was at Kansas City. Shattered Oakland, Atlanta. You lose to Kansas
Yeah,
City
and
by
Ravens
3.
covered.
That's what I mean. Yes.
I like the Ravens a lot, man. I've been kind of on board with this group. How about a party in Vegas with all the chatters to celebrate the great run right to the games? Yeah, I don't think we'd do it. We would do it in Atlantic City if we did that, and it would probably be for like a tournament or something, or kind of around then. The only issue we have with AC is a, it's you have to fly Spirit or Spirit to get here. That's just the point
No,
of
you
it.
just fly into
Just
Philadelphia. What's the big deal?
Yeah, well, then you're gonna have to rent a car and drive to Atlantic City. So that's what I would recommend you do. I wouldn't fly into Atlantic City. It's a smaller airport. You can only get certain flights. So yeah, I mean, if that's what you're willing to do, then I think it'd be cool.
I think Spirit's getting internet though now, Jeff. So I mean, hey, now it's back on.
Yeah, I mean, hey, listen, I don't think people will care too much. I mean, I guess it depends where you're coming from. If you're coming from California, that would probably suck. But hey, if you're coming that far, flying to Philadelphia, and just get a car and drive down. You know, you could fly for Newark. That's not that far either. Philadelphia's closer, but and Newark's probably an hour and a half, 2 hours away.
Yeah, I'll probably 75, 80 minutes, something like that. Yeah, just short of 2 hours. Newark.
Yeah, I think only Spirit and Frontier fly into Atlantic City. It's a smaller airport. But all right, guys. What else do we have here? Donnie, what other games? Indy, Tennessee is interesting. Win or go home
Great
there.
one. 3.5 now, Jeff. Now, are we getting past our price point? Let's just say Tennessee starts Mariota out there, and you say, he's good to go for the football game. Are we past that price point? I mean, because everybody, look, we have the same notion. It's Indy or nothing for me so far early in the week. But does that perception maybe change if Mariota's healthy and ready to go, and you're going to get the home team in their building, getting 3.5 in a playoff type scenario? Could that change your mind, Jeff?
Probably.
Yeah. No, because I mean, I always preface this by saying, like, well, this and that. Like, me and Jeff really like Indianapolis. I like where they're heading in the future. When they open up the purse strings and get some real talent, like, they don't even have real talent to me on defense. Wait till they get a pass rusher or two. Wait till they add another weapon to go opposite of T.Y. Hilton, like that big possession wide receiver. Maybe another, stud at tight end. Because when you look coming down the stretch, Jeff, Miami game, which they were losing at home, end up pulling out 27-24. Go to Jacksonville against a good defense, get shut out in that game. Play at Houston 24-21. Now, you have a nice win against Dallas, but you were in a really good spot for that one. But, hey, you still won 23-0. And then you're down double digits to the Giants at home, and you win by 1. So it's not really a juggernaut coming in, Jeff, where if you're saying Indianapolis is going to stay at that 2.5 range, like, okay, just by a field goal. You're asking them to win by almost a touchdown on the road, dome team going outside in a must-win situation. So I find myself now later in the week saying, all right, let me sit back and wait to see who's actually going to be playing football in this game and see where you can attack, because we both had Indianapolis early in the season when they just shattered the Titans. But a little bit different scenario now.
Oh, yeah, definitely different. I think Indy's the play. We've kind of rode them all year. It's been a big spot for us. Whether it's Mariota or Gabbert, doesn't really matter to me. Drug Casey out hurts. I'm going to lean Indy, but it is in Tennessee. How many people would fly to Philly and stop at Sugar House and Atlantic City? Well, none. It's not really on the – it's not even close. And you have to go way out of your way to get to Sugar House. And another thing, listen, I'm going to make
not if you're coming from the airport, because you do drive right by it from the airport. But why would you stop at Sugar House?
Why would you drive by
the 55 minutes away?
Why would you drive by? Well, Sugar House is up in the Northeast almost. Or just go over to Walt Whitman Bridge. That's exact, and hit the expressway. Listen, if you're coming to Philly from, let's say, North Dakota, and you know you're going to Atlantic City, but you want to go to Sugar House first, you got it all wrong, cuz. I mean,
just maybe wait an hour where he's coming from, Jeff. You know what I mean?
Wait an hour and go to Atlantic City where you're in your hotel. You could drink, you could do all that stuff, and the casino's way nicer. You really don't have to worry about getting robbed. Sugar House is for people like us that, on a Sunday don't feel like driving to Atlantic City, so we'll just drive 20 minutes north to go to the Sugar House. But for tourists that are not from the city, I don't know that I'd recommend that. Plus, it's out of the way. Just get in your car, drive up a little bit, get on the Walt Whitman Bridge, and head south straight to the shore. Very
Look,
easy.
I
You
see
just
now.
wait.
Eric has our type of comedy. Jeff said he was
Yeah, I
just
would
joking
never
on that
do that.
one. That's something I would say, actually, Jeff. Why don't we stop at Sugar House? Like, no.
No. You can wait, buddy. You can wait to play crap for an hour or
And by
so.
the way, Atlantic City is a small airport. It's a shame they only have like Spirit and the smaller ones because I would
Yes.
fly out of there 99.9% of the time over Philadelphia because you can literally pull up to the front of the airport and get like the front row parking spot with no line inside and fly in and out of there with no delays. It's a wonderful thing compared to like an international airport. It's a fantastic airport, but you're right, you're very limited. But now Spirit gets some Wi-Fi, Jeff. Might have to reopen it because I've flown a couple times to Disney World on Spirit out of Atlantic City, and you get your bag and you walk out the front door of the airport and you're in your car in 15 seconds. It's really nice compared to what they do at these monster airports like Philadelphia,
If
Newark,
I
and all
was
that.
flying anywhere 2 hours or less, I would fly. And I live where you did. I would fly from Atlantic City, definitely. Like I Philadelphia. I mean, I'm not driving to. I mean, if I'm at the shore, I would consider it. But like
Mm.
when we went to Vegas, like I considered like maybe I'll fly to Atlantic City because I'm like right there. But I'm thinking, well, it is kind of a long flight, so maybe I'll just suck it up and fly from Philadelphia. But yeah, no, we should talk about it for sure. Chicago, Minnesota, Donnie. Last final words on this one.
Yeah, good one there again. I mean, we're going to have endless, it seems like, time to talk about these games and how much they're going to change and evolve. Looks like 4.5s are sitting across the board. Now, there's actually a 3.5 showed up yesterday in this game, but there's an ultimate chess match going on in this game. And let's not forget, Jeff, because there's a couple still moving parts. I like to play percentages. Like, you're looking at the lines, who I think should play, who's not going to play, motivation, better football teams. But have we thought about this motivation, Jeff? The Washington Redskins up 21-10 on the Philadelphia Eagles with 5 minutes to go in that football game, and the Minnesota Vikings driving for a touchdown to either go up a touchdown or 4 or 3 points. Do we start just seeing massive people getting pulled from football games, Jeff, at this point? Like we always think about like,
Yeah,
oh, the
I
Eagles
mean,
already got this in their back pocket. What happens if the Eagles are getting smacked in the second half?
yeah, I mean, listen, what
Weird.
you're doing here is you're basically banking on other stuff to happen, and that's
Yes.
what you're capping
Which is the
this
only
game.
thing you can do
You're
now, though,
not.
which is the only thing you can do. Yeah.
All I can do, to me, all I can do is say, okay, well, do I think the Bears are going to beat the Vikings? Yeah, I do. At full strength, I think they will beat the Vikings. But there's other things that go into this game, and I think it's kind of tough to basically bet this because you're basically banking that this score is exactly what you want it to be at half. You want the Rams to be up, I don't know, 28-3. I mean, which is unlikely. I mean, as good as they are, I don't know if they'll be up that many points.
Yeah,
And
see, I don't
according
even know
to,
if it comes at halftime knowing those, Jeff. I think that comes a little bit later in the football game where,
but
this game is over and under because you're not going to leave your players out there when the game doesn't matter anymore. They're coming off the field in mass.
fair enough. I mean, but I'm not gonna. I don't want to bank and try to think that might happen. Matt Nagy reiterates the Bears are going to Minnesota to win, not play their backups. If the Rams
And
are
they're
up
and
huge
and,
at
and the
halftime,
word comes out this morning. They are benching their
Donnie,
starting best wide receiver. Allen Robinson looks like he's
okay,
not going to play in
listen,
this game. So that's one down
I'm
already.
not I'm not sending that out. I'm just not doing that personally. But again, I hear your point. I just think there are other games that I'd be interested in over this.
It's you bring up a good point though, because the games that are actually the toughest games, Jeff, are not the ones where we're actually trying to read in the lines, like Cincinnati, like the Bears game or the Eagles game or the Rams game. The tougher ones for me, Jeff, because now I'm reading like Tampa Bay. We talked about it yesterday. Like I know you like the over 51, and I would agree. There's some outlying circumstances which might harm that. But now you're reading like, hey, the third string quarterback, he's worked really hard, and we want to get him some time. You're getting all this nonsense now in these junk games.
Giorgio Migliaccio. Why is this line 4.5? LOL.
I think you're getting the
Because the
steal.
Bears are a better team. What do you mean? Why?
Getting
Listen,
the steal.
I hate to tell all of you, they're not resting players to start this game, and you're basically
Not to
banking on
start.
the
Yeah, but
fact
that's the
that
no.
the
You're not.
Rams are up
Nobody
big.
is.
That's
They
not
don't
a
rest
good
it.
idea. Like,
Nobody is
listen,
resting anybody to start the game unless they're injured. But what you're having to say is you have a rare opportunity here, Jeff, that there's a
but you also have an
50-50
opportunity that
shot that the other team might pull their players for at least a quarter. That's huge in the
that's
NFL.
not a
That doesn't
50-50.
happen. That's a
Okay,
50-50
fair enough.
chance, Jeff. Yes.
I don't think I don't. But you're banking on another team doing exactly what you think they're going to
No, but
do.
you have to play
I'm not.
percentages at this point. You have to play percentage. You have to look and say, would you be shocked, Jeff, if the 49ers, with half their team injured, will be beating the Los Angeles Rams in the second half? Would you be shocked by that? I would be shocked if the Rams lose that football game or don't put
I'm
that team away.
just.
But
It's the
that's
NFL.
the only
I
thing
don't.
you
I'm
have
not going to
to do
bank
it
on possibilities. That's
But you
just how I
have
look
to.
at it.
That's
I'm
the whole
just going to look other.
percentage is how you have to play. Like poker, you got to
No,
play the percentage in this game.
it's not percentages though. You're banking on the
Yes,
fact
it
that
is.
one random scenario is going to happen when there's
Not
10 or
random though.
12 other games.
It's like a coin flip. It's a literally coin flip, Jeff. That Chicago will pull their starters or not in the second
So
half, and you can
I'm
use
playing
that
a
to your
coin
advantage.
flip in a coin flip. I'm playing a coin flip.
Yes,
It's not a true coin flip. It's
like
not
to
a
me
true
right
coin
now.
flip.
I think regardless if both teams play their starters, the way this game shapes up, Minnesota's still going to beat them to me. And I think I'm getting an even bigger bonus that says in the second half, if Minnesota's up 14-10 in the third quarter, Khalil Mack goes to the sideline. Tariq Cohen goes to the sideline. Fuller goes to the sideline. They pull their two tackles. Mitchell Trubisky exits the football game. There's a real possibility, and that's what you have to play off of in these games.
Fair enough, but it's not a true coin flip. A true coin flip is one team against another. That's a coin flip. A coin flip's not one team against another, and then another thing has to happen too, and they
No,
have
but
to be up by a certain
what I'm
score.
saying is
That's not a coin flip.
if you cap the football game, if you like, if I told you, Jeff, you're going to bet Chris Sale as a Boston Red Sox, and there's a really good chance that he's only going to pitch 3 innings. Now, he might pitch 6 if he feels good, but there's a really good shot that he's only going 3. You would use that to your advantage in this game.
I would, but I don't think that I don't think that's the same. But listen, Donnie, I wish you luck. I wouldn't do it, but that's fine.
Again, I see your point in this. But one team is at home that absolutely needs it, and they might get a free roll in the second half for his backups. I'm going to take that every time. That's the way I view it.
Fair enough. FanDuel checking in on Twitter right now. They just posted will OU win the national championship? They asked Trey Young what his thoughts were on this. And surprising to no one, he actually thought they could, Donnie. Riveting info that we needed.
I was wondering where you're going.
And had to have. Yeah, I'm not I also love the interview the other night. Holly Rowe she goes up to him at the Duke, whatever that game. Duke, the other night, Duke played, who'd they play? The big game, Texas Tech.
Yes,
up at the Garden, and Trey Young was there, right? So Trey Young, they go up to Trey Young, and
I did see him getting interviewed there. Yes, go ahead. Yep.
So she goes, so before she interviews him, she goes, yeah, Trey Young's here at the game, and which he's playing the Knicks the next night, so it made sense. Mm-hmm. But then she goes, yeah, he's here rooting for Texas Tech. His father went to Texas Tech, and I'm thinking, he's not fucking here rooting for Texas Tech. What the hell are you talking about? Then they interview him, and he goes, yeah. I'm here with my dad, and I always want to see Texas Tech do well. It's a Big 12 thing, and it's like, no, I don't understand.
I pray for these kids. I pray for these kids. I'm praying for them.
So let me get this straight. So if we get a Michigan player, and he goes to the NBA, and then the next year he's at a random Ohio State Purdue game. Is he going to say, "Oh yeah, I'm here"? Well, I'm here for the Big Ten. I'm here rooting for them.
Yeah, first, no. He's probably He's probably a young kid that's not even eligible to get in the clubs. He still likes basketball. He can pick out call the front office of the Atlanta Hawks and say, "I want sweet tickets to the game tonight. I just want to go and hang out." That's why he's there. He's a kid that loves basketball. He's not there because I had to get to this game because it was Texas Tech.
Or it's, hey, my dad's in town and this is a cool thing to do with him as a bonding thing. I don't know. But he's not fucking rooting for Texas Tech. Give me a break. She's usually good. But that was weak. That interview was weak. All right, guys, we're going to wrap this up. It's 11 o'clock, and that means the show is over. We ride off into what is today? Thursday already. Wow.
Thursday.
That's one thing about Christmas being on Monday or Tuesday that's good because
you up the rest of the way. Yeah.
Week's flown by. We'll be back tomorrow with another show. Football Friday. We'll get into more bowl matchups and see what goes on tonight in some of these bowls. Everyone have a great day. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.